Hey guys, so I wanted to make this video for my friends as well as just anyone that happens to stumble upon it because I want to help them improve their Overwatch skills, you know? Uh, you're going to see my record about like who I play as and where I am in competitive and everything, and I'm going to show you some of the tips I use for some of the heroes that I have that pretty much make you better at the game. I'm going to be showing you the warm-up exercise that I do before I go into competitive, which is one of the most crucial things, as well as I'm just going to show you different kind of drills that I do to warm up and practice before a competitive game. So first off, I'm going to show you my stats here. I'm going to show you that this is my current competitive season. I'm getting better. By the time I'm editing this, I am about 3,100 diamonds, so I'm going up. So as you can see, I played as McCree majority of the season, but all time I've played 40 hours as Soldier, 11 hours as Genji, and 10 hours as McCree, which is not as much as some people like have, but as you can tell, by me going up in like 1 or 2 seasons, I'm pretty good. Humble brag. So now we're going to cut to the training exercise. So this practice range is one of the most amazing thing ever. So the first thing you're going to want to do for whatever hero you're deciding to practice with, I'm just going to show you Genji, McCree, and Soldier. You're going to want to fix your crosshair. The crosshair is normally blue, and with how blue this map is, or even some maps are, you're going to want to fix that. I make it the green crosshair so I can see whenever it blooms out, so that way I know if my accuracy is going off target from where I need it to be, as well as it being very precise. I used to use the dot, but then I decided to go with the crosshair for it sticking out whenever I've held out a burst for too long. With Soldier, you're gonna want to fire like 5 bullets in a burst. I usually fire at about 7 because just depending on the range of the targets. Aiming for headshots, very helpful, but this is the strategy you're gonna just want to keep going to these same bots, just using different abilities on it. I don't really use Helix rockets because my Helix rocket accuracy is already really good, so I'd rather just focus on making sure that my shots are on target, because the shots are going to be the things that I'm going to be using the most, and it's important that you're able to get those kills on the people who matter, such as Mercy. So speaking of Mercy, I'm going to show you a little trick here. So if you just fire and shoot a Helix rocket like that, it takes a little bit, and healers or anyone else can have a time to freak out and turn around and aim at you, or do whatever. But if you fire your Helix rocket, wait a second, then fire, you can instantly kill them. I use this to kill Mercies, Lucios, Zenyatas, any Tracers, Genjis, any target. Here you're going to see me do it again, but as you see, there's that slight delay. So what you're going to want to do is, depending on how far, is fire a Helix and then wait a couple seconds before firing. So, and as you see, it dominates. So now I'm going to be switching over to McCree. I'm going to show you the kind of exercise you use McCree. Soldier has an assault rifle. He can fire many shots. It's just important to get him. This is McCree. McCree, you have to, as you know, land all the shots that you have, or as many as you can. A good soldier has about 47% accuracy. Is #1 soldier on PlayStation, and a good McCree has a accuracy of 60 to 70%. So it is very crucial that you land a majority of your shots. The exercise I use is I flick. I move a little bit away and then I move in to it. And this is to practice hitting Mercies flying by, Genjis going by, Tracers. But you're not always going to be standing still. So eventually, after you do it for a while, you're going to want to add rolling and just moving around, because that's the way you're going to be doing it the most. I'm going to go back and show you what it's like, because you're also going to want to jump as well and get good at it like that. Because when you're in the higher leagues, you cannot stand still. You need to constantly be dodging shots while also landing them. Just flicking anyone you can, and just practice getting headshots with any DPS that you're playing as. As you can see, I'm going through the ringer, as I would say, right here with McCree, what I would usually run through with Soldier. But I'm doing it with McCree because I'm playing McCree. Oh, so right there, I'm showing off the difference. The first 2 shots I fired were slowed down because it is more important that you land the shots than to just spam fire. Spam fire is great on barriers and everything, but you need to make sure that you land the shots. So don't just keep don't keep just firing and firing and firing, hopefully, and having your crosshair near. Don't be afraid to take a small millisecond just to re-aim your shot, just to get it on, because one, that will save you having to do the roll from reloading, as well as it's going to make sure that you're doing enough damage. So now I'm going to switch to Genji. Genji is I haven't played as Genji in a really long time, so this is going to look kind of rusty. By the way, remap your buttons as well. For Genji, I have L1 is jump, L2 is strike, R1 for alt fire, R2 for regular fire, and pushing down the left stick for deflect. And for McCree, I have pushing down the left stick as roll. So what I just did there was known as the melee combo, and what that is essentially a combo that does an insane amount of damage, as you can tell. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to alt fire and knife, and originally it was alt fire, knife, swift strike, but now it is you're going to want to throw shurikens. You're not going to see me throw the shurikens, but you're going to want to throw shurikens, swift strike, land in front of them, alt fire, knife, and that's going to do an insane amount of damage. Alright, so this is on Eichenwald. As you can see the SR there, I'm kind of in the lower limit. I have some high platinums on my team and some people who are diamond but have kind of gone down. But that's what I've got to deal with right now. For the footage that I couldn't get many full diamond games. So Eichenwald is a map, especially whenever you're defending, that you're going to want to use the high ground. This game is a definition of team composition, team communication, as well as position and skill. Like, all of those are equally amount as important. You can have the best McCree in the world, but if he has like people on his team who aren't communicating, he has a horrible team comp made of only Widowmaker and Hanzos who aren't good, it's impossible for him to win. He can't solo win the game. There are some times you feel like in the game whenever you're playing that you are the single-handedly reason why you're winning, or that a person that you're going against is single-handedly the person why they're winning, but it is not the case. So with Eichenwald defense, I'm going to be sitting up here for as much of the defense as possible, and because that their spawn is so much closer than our spawn, the important thing I need to do here is if I ever get jumped up on, which you'll see by Genji and Winston, I need to jump off the high ground, go back to my team who will heal me and help me win the fight, and as soon as they either get off the high ground or dead, I can go back and continue. So the high ground is really important because it's essentially, when people look up at you, they're only going to see the top half of your torso if you use the ledge properly, and you're only going to see their head and their legs. So you're not going to get many chest shots, because all the shots that would be chest shots are going to be headshots. Our team comp is a pretty decent one, and I believe so is the enemies. The enemies is kind of running a mix of a dive comp. So here's what I was talking about with Winston. Now, Winston's an interesting person because as a soldier character, if you have your biotic field, you can out-damage a Winston's electric arc. As you see, I took out Genji there. I saw he was deflecting, so I decided that he was low enough to use a Helix Rocket for the ground near. Did the same thing with Zarya. Got a double kill, actually. Didn't realize I did that. I heard the Winston jump up. I'm going to be putting it down. Here's a perfect example of it doing it. So this is a way overextension on my part. I thought I could take it out. I got very lucky that I didn't die. My teammates were backing me up. But that was, I should not have done that, because defense, we pretty much had to waste time. Getting that kill would have staggered them, but it is not important. I kind of prematurely put down my biotic field, because it's better be safe than sorry. If he didn't land on me, I was able to get another Helix Rocket off in this game. Genji jumps on me, and I don't feel like I'm capable of winning because I do not have my biotic field, as well as he has his deflect up. Oh, now Winston on the high ground. Sorry, got a phone call. So I now have Tac Visor, and one of the things about the ultimates is you need to make sure that you don't hold on for them for too long, as well as you don't waste them. I believe I wasted this one, and it was just a dumb point on my part. I thought I could get some of the healers while everyone else was focused on trying to clear through the point. I fall down there completely on accident. Luckily, I don't die. As you can see, this is what everyone else is seeing. That's what they're firing through, and I'm on top firing down. So the enemy team doesn't really get too worried about me until I have a notable impact.
Nice.
That was a bad junk tire on their side.
He's on the left side.
So I didn't jump off immediately because I knew I had the biotic field, as well as he just used his deflect and I hadn't fired anything, and I got to keep my Helix Rocket, so I felt like I was going to win that. But once Winston jumped up, I jumped off because I knew I wasn't going to win. Don't be afraid to back up, as well as when you're playing this game, don't be afraid to, this is the ult I was talking about that I believe I wasted. Yeah, it's very much wasted. The Winston shield came out and bubbled this entire team, saved him, especially the Genji. Some lag there, but you don't play the person that, you can play the person that you're really good at, but don't ruin your team comp just because you want to play as a person because you don't like a different role. I've had to play as a tank many times today, and I have not. I've only played like tank for like 2 or 3. Well, no, I played for more because I played Diva, but tank is my weakest suit, and then I've also had to play Lucio many times when I could have been in DPS. And as you see by the amount of hours I have on DPS and the amount of accuracy and skill I have as a DPS, I still went with the healer, which I am less fulfilled in doing because I knew by doing that it was going to increase our team comp and the way that it flows, as well as it allows more heals if I'm Lucio for our team to stay alive to get the kills and ensure that we win. One of my friends, Jake Jarrett, he likes to use Hanzo a lot, and even though he's not a really good Hanzo, he still persists on using him. And in competitive, you need to be very flexible. If you're friendly with someone, and you ask them, hey, yo, can you please change, and they don't change, you're just gonna have to work with it. Build your team comp around that. Build hard counters for whatever their team is, or your strengths. Like Soldier 76, he's not really a hard counter for too many people, except for Pharah and Mercy. But he, by the way, fun fact, if you're in a Junkrat trap and you put down a biotic field, it will not heal you immediately. But when you pick a character and you build a team comp, it's going to be based around what is a hard counter for their team, as well as what is your team's strengths and what abilities do you guys need that you can combo together. Making sure that you're not only playing as your strongest character is very important. If you're stuck constantly just being Lucio or being, Soldier, and you want to be someone else, and if your team allows you, or if you have the opportunity, I usually insta-lock Soldier, which is usually a bad thing to do, but it's because I usually want the DPS because I'm very good as a DPS, and I can support the team a lot. But I'm also flexible. If I see that our team has too many of something, I'll switch to a Lucio. As you see, our team went with Moira, Zenyatta, Pharah, Doomfist. In this game, the other team, 2 of their people left, or 1 of the people left, and they pretty much just gave up and let us have the point, as you saw by the high ground, just dominating up there. I know I didn't really talk about too much of my own personal gameplay, kind of like just how the game works, what you need to think about, but make sure that you talk to people, that you enjoy the time that like you're talking to them. I mean, you don't have to enjoy it, but as long as you're being like positive and not toxic, if you respond negatively by insulting the people that you're playing with and calling them not good or anything, it's just going to make them more toxic, and if you're toxic, you're going to most likely be more aggressive, and that could either help or it could very hurt you because you're overextending because you want to kill that one guy that put down a spray after he killed you, or punt or meleeed after he killed you. As my friend Badnat would hate from AEW when people would do that on Search and Destroy on him all the time, and it happened all the time. So, and this, what's going to happen is the door's going to open, and Reinhardt's going to try to charge just to get a kill that he probably saw off of YouTube. But just work with your team. Don't be afraid to record video clips or record the matches that you play in if you have the ability to, and going back and watching like how I saw that was a horrible tac visor. Being able to see that and criticize yourself is very important, and that's why I'm doing this series as well, is to criticize some of the things. This is more of like the basics kind of episode and what you want to do, because that's what I'm pretty much just talking about in this one. The next ones I'm going to be looking at my physical playing more. This game we just dominated, so that's why I wanted to put it up with the video, because it was a very short video, but as you see, they had no defense. A bonus with Soldier, you can just sprint through and go straight to the point. Since they had a Bastion and a Diva, Bastion needs to be able to stay still and transform, run over to the point. Bastion couldn't really go after me. So yeah, thank you. I'm going to post more of these later today or even tomorrow.